Well, good morning, Allen High School. I'm Sean Robinette alongside Brandon Villarreal for KGLE 3T News. A topic of discussion at high schools across the nation today is the shooting incident at a high school in the Denver area. KGLE 3T News reporter George Becerra has been covering the story since the news broke yesterday. George joins us now live from the newsroom.
Thanks a lot, Sean. Well, only a year after a school shooting in Arkansas, a similar story unfolds this time at Columbine High School in Littleton, Colorado, just a small suburb of Denver. Many were shocked yesterday as the news broke out. 16 people were fatally wounded and the count is still rising. SWAT teams are still in the building right now, taking their time because there are still live explosives. The gunmen were reported to be outcasts of the school, and students said that they were in the trench coat mafia. As the news reached Allen yesterday, many students and parents expressed concerns.
Residents of Allen were quick to respond when they found out about these shootings in Colorado.
I think it's ridiculous. I don't think that if you're going to shoot anywhere, I don't think a school, a place of education should be your target.
Do you think this could ever happen in Allen?
Yes, I do. I mean, it could happen anywhere. I'm quite shocked, actually. I don't think it should be, a school should be any place for a shooting to happen.
I mean, but it's just kind of scary that things like that could happen any day in any school.
I think there's the potential for it to happen anywhere, and sure it can. My concern's real minimum. You know, I know what we have in place being an officer here in the city and everything, the kind of programs that we have in place right now, and I think it's working out real well for everyone, so I think we're pretty safe.
Several parents commented on the situation regarding the shootings.
Yeah, this is happening a little more and more. Seems like every year we read or hear or see more violence in our high schools, and it's very unfortunate.
It makes you worry. Makes you worry about the safety of your kids when you leave them to go to school, by themselves, driving the parking lot. There are signs in the parking lot that tell you it's a safe, drug-free, gun-free facility, but there's never any for sure thing. I think you have to be real careful, what you teach your kids, and make sure they know what's out there so they are cautious.
News of the high school shootings reached Allen High School as the National Safe and Drug-Free School Site Visit Team was wrapping up their evaluation of our campus. Dr. Irwin addressed security for the new high school with students at the Brown Bag Luncheon yesterday.
It's a security issue to monitor. It's such a large campus. We don't want people coming indoors that shouldn't be coming indoors. So if someone's trying to get in and happens to come in, the camera automatically clicks on. We identify that person as friend or foe, and we're able to deal with it.
As you heard, those security cameras are for your safety. There have been 8 school-related shootings in the past 2 years.
Do we have any idea of the trenchcoat mafia's motive?
Well, Sean, to our knowledge right now, the authorities are still combing the area and investigating as we speak. There is a suspect motive, though. The suspects were going after athletes and minorities. That's why they entered from the gym. But we do not have an official motive at this point.
George, how would students recover from such a tragic event?
Well, President Clinton addressed the nation last night sympathizing with the students and asking the nation to wake up to school violence. He is also sending immediate counseling for the students who have been scarred by this. This is an event that will not be forgotten in a week, month, or even a year. That's the details we have at this moment. I will keep you updated. Our hearts go out to the students and parents who have had to face this event.
Thanks, George. In other related news, the current episode of Allen, the TV show, was pulled from our Cable Channel 17 program schedule last night out of respect to the shooting victims. The episode was a spin-off of the classic Dallas season cliffhanger surrounding Who Shot JR. The episode does feature a public service announcement regarding national statistics surrounding firearm-related deaths and features a contest surrounding Who Shot Lance. Information regarding the contest and previews of the show were scheduled to air on today's newscast. However, in light of the tragedy in Colorado, details surrounding that contest and the episode itself will not be aired on KGLE 3 or Cable Channel 17 until later next week.
Good morning, Allen High School. I'm Bethany Waller alongside Joel Arnold for KGLE 3T News. The Columbine shooting tops our news again today. At the order of Governor Bush, flags are at half-staff across the State this morning. KGLE 13 News reporter George Becerra has been covering the story since the news broke. George joins us now from the newsroom.
Well, Bethany, the saga continues. There is a confirmed update that 15 lives were taken. For now, the school that became a killing field is a complicated crime scene. Among the dead are 2 suspects in the shooting. Did they have help is the question we are awaiting right now. What we do know is that there were plenty of warning signs. One of the suspects had a website which was full of warnings in print. Investigators are still gathering evidence from all aspects of the suspects' lives. Meanwhile, counselors are beginning to gather up the pieces and create comfort within the students' lives. Joining us now is Ms. Pam Hill, the director of the advisory program.
Morning, George.
Morning. Ms. Hill, what was your reaction when you first heard of the Columbine shootings in Colorado?
I think 2 things. Number 1, it saddened my heart. Number 2, it also made me aware that Allen High School, as well as other schools, are not immune to violence. It can happen anytime, any place, anywhere.
True. What can advisors and advisees do to address this epidemic that's going around in the high schools? How can we talk about this?
I think number 1, we have to be very honest. We also have to be very realistic. We have to be able to talk to each other. We also have to turn this into a relevant situation, looking at the specific facts that we know from Columbine High School. Then turn it to Allen High School. Talk to students. Get them to tell the adults in the building what causes the fear and anxiety on a daily basis. Then with that input and the combined efforts of the community, parents, administrators, students, teachers, then we all work together to make sure that 100% of the people in this building, that when they enter, they're going to be safe, and when they leave.
Ms. Hill, thank you for your time.
You're welcome, George.
Well, you heard there Ms. Hill, the director of the advisory program.
Well, George, isn't this unusual for students to be able to bring guns to school?
Well, Bethany, it's not as unusual as you think. There was a reported 100,000 students who brought guns to school in America last year alone.
George, what are the students from Columbine High School doing right now?
The students are currently out of school and will be until further notice. The school is closed for the rest of the year. There is talk, though, that the students want the school demolished because they are angry and sad and don't want to come back to a school where so many fatalities took place.
Have there been any changes in the security measures at Allen High School as a result of these incidents?
Yes, there have. School Resource Officer Carl Osborne tells us officers are more visible in the school and that students wearing black trench coats have been informed that such clothing is not appropriate for school at this time. I'm George Becerra reporting for KGLE 3 Teen News.
Well, thanks, George. Of course, we will be keeping you updated on this developing story.